Welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Megan Gonzalez. I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist at the Mary and Dick Allen Diabetes Center at Hoag. Today is our Sweet Life cooking demo for August of 2023, Fast, Easy, and Delicious. I'm here today with Hoag's executive chef, Davis Cruz. So, chef, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Megan. Welcome to our Sweet Life cooking demonstration. And for the month of August, we have chosen a recipe that will be dear to many people's heart, and tilapia, which people think is a bottom feeder. But before we go there, I'll tell you a little bit about me and why I'm so passionate about being in the circle with the dietitians and diabetes education, because I've been diabetic, type 1 diabetic for 27 years. And I'm also a chef, so I'm testing food all day long and managing my A1C and my sugar glucose levels is very, very hard. But I try my best and I get good results. So every physical is being A-OK, and that's when I thrive every year. So if I can do it, guys, girls, adults, we all can do it. It's about managing the condition that we have. And in a nutshell, what I say to myself is this: if I eat 3 times a day, which we shouldn't, we should eat very small meals throughout the day, and at least 5 times a day should be a normal eating habit for someone with diabetes. But if you choose to follow the old pattern of 3 meals per day, then that's 21 meals a week. So which of those 21 meals are going to be bad meals for yourself? And by attending these classes and learning about proper cooking, then you learn what are good eating habits. So, should we start?
Yeah, let's
All right, let's start cooking. So, let me get my gloves.
So we'll start with our blackened tilapia with zucchini noodles.
So we're gonna do a little bit of prep ahead of time, and this little machine here has the ability to create strands out of the zucchini or yellow squash. So on the recipe it says zucchini, but we can use yellow squash also.
Yeah,
right?
about the same.
The goal is to be able to cut just the ends and try to get as straight as possible.
And for someone that doesn't have a spiralizer, is there another way to make something similar?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can make it with, if you have a mandolin, you can make it with a mandolin. Okay, so that's kind of your other options is the mandolin, because you want those strands to be a little bit thicker. This way it doesn't overcook or becomes mushy when you are cooking it. Now, if you have just regular standard shredding, then you use the thickest part, but don't cook it. So I'm just going to blanch them. So I'm going to show you, and you will learn this trick, not from the recipe, but you're going to learn it from here by attending the class and watching the class. And this is how you can prep ahead of time. So you got the boiling water, and now we're going to create our strands. This machine is very handy, and it's relatively inexpensive. So you're going to hold it and just press at the beginning, and you see how the strands start coming out. Actually, should I place it? Can you see? Okay. So you see how the strands are coming out, correct? So as you're pressing it.
So it's almost like a low-carb pasta, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't taste like pasta, but it's in the shape
right.
and makes you think it's more like pasta. Very low calorie as well.
Okay, let's pull them out. See what's happening, correct? You can turn it and then bring it back.
You can purchase the machine most anywhere, right, Chef?
Yeah, most anywhere. Chef Toys, hello. Or Amazon, you can find them.
Everything's on Amazon.
Now, as you see, this machine is very, very simple to use. Okay, see how the strands are coming out? Now, Since I like my colors,
So
I'm gonna do the,
this is another chef tip that's just added. It's not part of the recipe, but you know, the summer squash, zucchini, summer squash has pretty much the very similar nutrition values, so it's really not gonna change much of the nutrition information here, but like Chef said, he's doing this more for the color and the presentation. And why not have our food look good and taste good?
correct.
Right,
So it's just for color.
yeah.
Now it's wobbling because I have it on the plate, but
Yeah.
let's do something so you can see it from this angle. I'm just gonna move this away because we're gonna use it
Just a
pretty
little
soon.
limited on space.
So, here we go.
There we go.
So, I'm gonna show you some. You see how it's going up and down? No, 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 go back. So I want it nice and straight, and then you put it right back again. And now look what happens.
There we go.
Okay? So the strands are coming out. Okay?
Very nice.
Now, this little machine has options. So what I mean by options, different blade options. And those blades get attached right here, so you swap them out. Okay? Very handy. Easy to play with. It's like having a toy,
Yes.
which is my toys. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mix them. See the strands? Beautiful spaghettis. Okay. Now, this is a trick part that we left it out of the recipe on purpose, because if you don't watch the presentation, you're not going to learn it. You can prep this ahead of time. This recipe just to prep it, cook it, serve it. I'm going to show you how to cook and shock the zucchini strand just like pasta, and it will hold their shapes just like pasta. And then when you're ready to cook, it will be just less than a minute to saute it, and it will be that much easier to do the final cooking. So here we go. We got boiling water. Just gonna add it. So how long is too long? So the goal is to increase the temperature after it's boiling, and then what you want to do, what you're looking for is for one first boil. Once it boils once, then we're good. Okay? So here we go. Because right now my zucchinis and yellow squash reduce the temperature of the water. So now we're going to start seeing it as it boils. In the meantime, I have ice water here because it has to go straight from the heat down to ice water. Okay?
Because of course the ice water stops the cooking immediately.
Correct.
Yes.
It's a shock, so it's a shocking process.
And this is a great tip. You know, we're all so busy and have things going on. You know, to have healthy meals definitely can be done just with a little prep ahead of time. And this is part of it. So you can come home that day and not have as much. So it can even be faster than the recipe says, but just takes a little prepping ahead of time.
Correct. Now, some of the question is, can I have the zucchinis already strand uncooked in the refrigerator? Yes, you can. Yes. But you know that oxygen will oxidize some of the zucchini, so maybe after a day or two, it will start getting a little not so appealing.
So it's probably best to blanch it then and cook it.
Correct. So you see how now it's starting to boil? You see the
See
bubbles?
the little bubbles, yeah.
Okay. That is almost done. Just a little bit more.
Doesn't take much time.
That's it.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. So now I'm just going to strain the water. Shock it. have a little strainer here to make sure
To get the water out.
the rest of the water out. So see how playable it is, but it's not getting mushy at all. Okay. Mush.
No one wants to eat mush.
Mush. The mush. Okay. So now for the tilapia, I'm gonna bring my non-porous, non-stick saute pan. Just makes it that much easier because the tilapia is a bottom feeder. Everybody know this is a bottom feeder? Now with the tilapia, this one that I bought is farm raised. That means that the conditions on the water are being treated so they're not, they're cleaner than in the wild. They tend to congregate and then they just bottom feed it, so they eat whatever is in the bottom of the ocean floor. So we have the 2 tilapias here. And we're just gonna season it with the combination of, you got the option of fresh garlic or garlic powder. Since we're just gonna powder it, I'm gonna show you how to use both garlics. So we got garlic powder. We got cumin.
Yes.
We got cumin.
1.5 teaspoons.
We got paprika.
And paprika, smoked paprika.
Black pepper.
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about the salt.
Yes. That's
If I'm in a salt-free diet, use salt-free seasoning.
right.
If you use salt-free seasoning, we have Mrs. Dash that is, or 17 seasonings is salt-free. Then eliminate all of this and just use your salt-free seasoning
Right.
for the fish. Okay.
Yes.
And in here, I think it was a little too much, so I'm just gonna put a little. Because
Yeah,
I don't like
it's-
salt that much in anyway, so.
Yeah, so you can always make that adjustment. Even though the recipe says 3/4 of a teaspoon, you can always adjust it to your taste, like you said, Chef.
Right.
Because really everyone should be watching the salt in their diet, but definitely if you need to, if doctor specifically says a low salt diet, I would definitely, like Chef said, replace the salt and the seasonings in here for a salt-free, because it would just be just as good flavor without the salt.
So we're gonna use a little olive oil in the pan just so we can place the tilapia on it. And it just, the olive oil on the pan is just to make sure that it's a non-stick, but it's your choice if you wanna use it or don't wanna use it. Now it calls for medium heat, right? I have asked, people ask me this question on and off. What is medium heat? How do I know my pan is heated enough where it says medium heat? So the trick that we use, because in our kitchen, we don't have where it says low, medium high, and high. Like most of households, they
Right.
have that tab. But the the drop of water should stay dancing around the middle. It should not evaporate. And that's the trick that we use to make sure that the pan is hot enough. Now, I would love to demonstrate it here, but I'm afraid that the fire smoke detector will shut us down.
Yeah.
So I heat up the pan, and what I can do is take a little bit of water and just put
There
it,
we go.
so it will look, see this one is
Yep.
evaporating, so it's not quite as hot.
Okay.
But you see the gist of it, correct?
Yes.
So that's what we're looking for that bubble of little bit of bubble of the water to be dancing. All right. So that's medium heat. Oh, so then.
And of course, olive oil is a very heart-healthy fat. We do need some heart-healthy fat in our diet, so this could contribute to your healthy fats for the day.
So now so how much to season is another question I get asked.
Yeah.
So you season both ways completely. Okay. Nice coat of seasoning.
It says to generously coat.
And then before I season this one, this is the back where the skin is. This is the front where it attaches to the actual fish, correct? Mm-hmm. So it goes skin side up all the time. That's how you cook any fish. Skin side up first, and then skin side down. And then you only turn it once. Don't keep turning it, just once. So I turn on the heat. Let's see how hot I can get without smoking too much.
Yeah.
So as my tilapia cook,
So the tilapia doesn't take too long to cook, right? A couple minutes or so. on
tilapia
each
just
side?
about, 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
So while the tilapia is cooking, let's talk about the pico de gallo.
Okay.
So we didn't give you the recipe on purpose because if you don't know pico de gallo now, you're in trouble. This is Southern California. Everybody uses pico de gallo. Very simple. Onions, cilantro, tomatoes, jalapenos. And how much jalapenos, your choice. Normally we do 50-50 on everything, on our mixture. And this will represent our garnish. Now, it's your call, hot or cold. Do we use it pico de gallo? We make it, keep it in the refrigerator, and then put them on the top of the fish, or heat them up a little bit. I like the crunchiness of the tomato and the onions, okay, and the freshness of the cilantro. So if you are also a person that doesn't do well with cilantro, omit it, okay?
And you can buy it already prepared. Usually it's in the refrigerated section, I believe, of the grocery store. But again, you can make it yourself. Very low calorie, but adds a lot of flavor to it, and virtually no carbs as well. So great garnish, or again, some flavoring to add to the fish here. Or really any dish, right? It can go to more
Correct.
dishes than just this one, obviously.
Correct. So as it cooks, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for, let me read the recipe. Just kidding. So as the tilapia cooks and you have your pico de gallo ready, you have extra seasoning left over, you have that garlic that it was a fresh garlic, correct? We can use some of that to season the
Zucchini, and squash, yeah.
all right? So we're just waiting. Let's see how. Not yet. And I can show you also, we might be able to do both. Since we have two pieces, we're going to do it from the raw,
Okay.
from the cook.
Okay, great. Right.
And the reason we use in the same pan is like deglazing the pan. So you want to add the vegetables and you want to acquire the flavor that is being left on the pan. This way, it just tastes that much better because you have all those spices that are cooking and the fish that is just omitting some of their flavor into the pan. Let's see. You got that look?
Nice.
Okay. If you're in a hurry, like we are, so you can do this.
Ah, another tip.
Okay. So we use this frequent at work. The heat goes up and down. Now we don't put a lid because I don't want to steam it. Okay, I want to keep frying it. So this will keep some of the heat inside, but it kind of speed up the cooking
process. Yeah.
Okay. So that's an option. But since we have time, we can just wait, relax, and then start prepping for our drink. Shall we?
There we go.
Yeah? Okay. So our drink is very confusing. So we got blackberries, we got pink lemonade.
Yes.
Okay. We got water, and we got mint for garnish. Right? That's it. Very simple recipe. Lemonade. So you use a pink lemonade.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free pink lemonade. Water, and then our biggest question was sweeteners.
Yes, yes. So there's lots of options for sweeteners. They're all fairly similar in terms of nutritional value. So what's sort of becoming more popular these days is the monk fruit that you can use. Even as you can see, Splenda has their own, has come out with a version as well. And of course, these do not add significant calories or carbohydrates. These are more of, so the monk fruit and stevia are more of the plant-based, more the natural sweeteners. Of course, there's others available as well, Equal, Splenda. So there are other ones, and those are more of the synthetic ones. And they are coming out with more research. It looks like it's going in the direction of the more natural plant-based is a little bit healthier for us. But of course, it's always your choice. Do you have anything to add, Chef?
Not for now.
Okay.
Let's go back to the tilapia.
Okay, great.
All right, so now we're back on the tilapia world. All right. Is 80% cooked. So I'm just going to take it out for demonstration purposes. Bring them out here. And then we can finish in a minute. Okay? All right. So now the pan has some residues from the drippings.
Yes.
And we're going to add the cook. It should sizzle, but I can't sizzle in this room, okay? So then I add it first. I'm gonna add the garlic second. Why don't cook the garlic first? I don't need to cook this garlic first. I just need to heat them up, put a little seasoning. This is my own trick, on the garlic, not on the strands, right?
Okay.
And then, since the pan is big enough, I can do all that good stuff. If I take a pan this small, that will blanch my vegetables.
Okay.
Instead of I already cook them, so we'll blanch them. Okay, so I want big surface, very little cooking time, and then I'm just gonna saute. Okay, so it will look like that. Can you smell it? Okay. Okay. Then it will look like this. You see how the strands are still really good? Right? They're not mushy.
Right.
Okay. Then we can place a tilapia on top.
And normally we'd cook the tilapia to maybe a little bit more flaky, right?
Oh yeah.
I know we didn't
yes.
have time for
We didn't have
right
a lot
now,
of time
but
for that. And then you
just
take
to
the
show
pico de
everyone.
gallo and you put them on top. Okay.
so quick, easy, delicious, fairly low calorie as well. Healthy.
So now I'm heating up the pan. Guess what we're gonna do? Now we're gonna, since it's raw, the zucchinis are raw. Now the garlic goes in. We're gonna spread it around. Okay. We're not gonna fry it. Doesn't need to
Right.
gain color. And then we're gonna add
just for some flavor.
just some flavor. This point of the seasoning to the strands.
And this would be the one that you'd prepare right before you serve, right? Doing
Correct.
it
This is
this
the
method.
one that, correct. Just before you serve, you just created the strands. It's all raw, nothing is cooked. And now you're just gonna give it a quick saute and then cook it. Okay? Now, when we're done, I'm gonna show you another trick. That makes it even better. And you only can see it here when you're attending that demonstration.
Yes.
So hopefully you have attended all our different demonstrations, all the different months. Okay? So this is what I really like to do. Because a chef is always a show off. We love to show off. So they all cook.
Ooh.
Remember when I said, how do you want your pico de gallo?
Right.
Correct? So now it's going to be lukewarm,
Okay.
but the pico de gallo will stay firm.
Right.
The tomatoes, the onions, it will stay nice and firm. And then, how many of you at home has a cutting board or a wood cheese board? So this will be a great way to present your tilapia. So you take it from the pan, you put your cutting board or the cheese board, and you put this right on top, and then people can serve themselves.
Nice.
So if you have vegetables on the side, then you can have, you can put all the vegetables on the side, or you
Right.
have a dish with some cauliflower mash,
Ooh,
and then this will set really well with that.
very nice.
Okay,
Very good.
so that's our tilapia dish. Instead of planing it, I made it better. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, it's time for a drink.
Yes.
Time for a drink. Okay,
Blackberry lemonade.
so let's talk about. So we got the mint, we got water, blackberries, supermarket, and sugar-free pink lemonade.
So if I can talk just briefly here about these blackberries. So blackberries are high in fiber, and fiber helps us slow down sugar going into our bloodstream. So obviously looking at blood sugars, the berries are a great choice. Lots of nutrition in them as well, vitamins and minerals. So, and of course, from your perspective, chef, the taste as well. But from a nutrition standpoint, blackberries are a very healthy part of this drink here.
And I can hear back at home, he didn't wash them. Yes, I did. If you can see, they have holes in it. Correct? Right here, they have holes. So I don't need to take them out of the container to wash them. I just submerge them, take them out, let it drain, and then make my juice.
Right.
So, chef, question, correct? What is the appropriate ratio to wash of water and vinegar to wash our fruit and vegetables? So, is 1 tablespoon of vinegar or 1 gallon of water? That's enough to be able to kill any bacteria that might be in the product. Ooh,
So we
I
have
don't
our
have that
3
many
cups.
blackberries. I mean that some of my cooks that were cleaning it
Uh-oh.
took some bites. That's not good.
Uh-oh. And you could adjust the blackberries, right? Things can always be adjusted, right, in the recipe. So
Correct. Strawberries, blueberries.
yeah, you
correct.
could do that as well. Maybe if you don't like the blackberries, right?
Okay. Pink lemonade.
Sugar-free pink lemonade.
And water.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is this 16 ounce, 16 point something. So we're going to do this first. And then we're going to add water as we need it.
Okay.
That's why it says 2 cups plus 4 cups cold water. Okay. I'm going to, I wanted to use this strainer to demonstrate. I think this water is better than, anyway, this is a type of strainer that I use at work. And this one, I just want to show that on the recipe it calls to strain it. And it is because some of the pulp from the blackberry are still in it. and the seeds. So if
yeah.
if you're a person that are not too crazy about the seeds on a drink, then this is the best way to go. So use any other your fine strainers at home, but I think with this I can show you where the seeds, correct? So it shows the seeds very well, okay? Now, the water is, I call this a Puerto Rican version. What is it saying? So this version is when you're making it at home and nobody's at home, okay? This version is when you got visitors, unannounced visitors. So then you add the water, okay?
Oh.
And then, depending on the sweetness of the blackberries, you add any sugar that you might want to add,
Any sweetener, yes.
any sweetener or not. So when I say sugar, it's monk fruit sugar, sweetener. I'm in love with my monk fruit sugar.
Right.
And guess what? He has come out with the Splenda version of the monk fruit sugar, which
Right.
is natural, right?
Correct.
Instead of going to Swerve or Stevia or any other man-made
Right. The man-made
sweetener,
sweeteners, right. But it's always your choice what
Uh,
you want to use, right?
Yeah, can I blend this?
Yes,
I'm
go
gonna make
ahead.
noise, a little
Yeah.
noise. And then it's all yours. Okay. So here, I'm gonna show you. See, the other one was a little thicker, this a little thinner. And then we might need sweetener here.
Right.
So I will use monk fruit sugar.
Okay.
How much do you use? Well, you have to taste it
Right.
and
Well,
determine how
taste
much to use,
first.
correct?
Right.
So we taste first. Let's see if I have a teaspoon down here. Only have forks. Sorry. There we go.
All right.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, this mask needs to go. It doesn't need.
Yeah.
If it needs, maybe
So this sweetener, many
That's
sweeteners
it.
are more sweet than regular sugar. So notice how Chef just put a very small amount in there. You don't need a lot. Otherwise, it can get too sweet.
too sweet, correct. And trust me, those blackberries are nice and sweet.
Right. That's great.
So you didn't need it. So now I'm not dipping this in here because that will call double dipping, correct?
Yes,
So
yes.
now I'm just gonna pour on my teaspoon. So I don't waste teaspoon. Then
Yeah, low calorie, low
Done.
carb, nice refreshing drink.
So this is more concentrated, more like a smoothie, all right?
Right.
When I'm home alone, I get, all right? You get visitors, you add a little bit
Give
more
some to
water,
everybody,
okay?
right?
So I love club soda and I love tonic water.
Yes.
What do you take in adding tonic water or club
There
soda?
you go.
Yeah,
Great addition.
right?
Yeah, that's great.
So you can make it modified, make it your own. But the blackberries bring, is blackberry considered a superfood? Or not there yet.
It's pretty. It's definitely anti-inflammatory. So it's pretty close. It's definitely a good choice. Any of those berries would be fine for this.
Correct.
But I think again having the right blackberries makes a difference for sure. But yeah, very good. High nutrition, low calorie, low carb, And again, you can always modify it to make it work for you and whatever your needs are.
So foods that brings anti-inflammatory, foods that are good for your gut are what we are promoting here. This is what we are looking for you guys to experience, to test, to figure it out, how your body will accept it and change. Because if your core is healthy, you will be healthy. Automatic, the whole body just goes into this zone that it just everybody's happy.
Right.
And including inflammation. We do have at any given time some sort of inflammation going on inside our bodies.
Right.
So if our body's not healthy, it just distributes something. Something is happening to our body that is a cause of some inflammation in our body.
Right.
So we run to get doctors, but the more classes we teach and the more the doctors are engaging with us, I keep hearing that food is medicine. Food is medicine.
Yes.
But not all food is medicine, correct?
Correct.
So is pizza medicine? I would take that like, no?
Any day, right?
No,
it's
medicine.
Not. It's
is
not what we're talking
McDonald's
about.
hamburgers medicine?
No.
I don't think so, right? So healthy food, healthy lifestyle.
Right.
I just want to mention my last on produce and products. So especially produce, depending when they were harvested, they're not 100%, it doesn't have the 100% nutrition that it could be. Right? So if it's harvested ahead of time, you only may have 80% of the nutritional values. What do I mean by harvest ahead of time? So if the peak ripeness is, it will take 3 more days and I pick it now because I wanted to be able to transport it from the farm, truck, to the supermarket, and then hopefully you buy within time, then it's not 100% nutrition. That's why the vitamin world had exploded, because you go to the doctor, you're deficient in this, and that, but I eat my vegetables. Well, yes and no. Okay,
Right.
That's why we've been talking about frozen vegetables, and now they are able to pick that when they're ripe, to be able to freeze it appropriately without breaking some of the nutritional values.
Right.
And then when we consume it, we consume at least more than nutritional values. So
Right.
frozen vegetable, just consider them here and there if you can pick the vegetables right on their vine will be just perfect.
Right.
But nobody does that anymore.
I know. But I mean, that's a great point. Frozen vegetables do have a lot more nutrition often, and they are still fairly low sodium, so they could be included in, in most anything. I think as a general rule, just to say in general for all of us to eat more vegetables, I think is a good rule to follow. Now
Right.
that's these non-starchy vegetables, of course. So be creative. Like Chef had the idea of adding some cauliflower mash or cauliflower rice or something. You could do that, or anything that, just adding. Always good to add more vegetables. It adds fiber, it adds bulk, so you feel full, and it's very low calorie, very, very low carb.
I forgot one thing.
Our garnish.
Voila.
There we go.
Well,
All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in with us today. We hope you will join us again. Our next class will be October 17th, so please make sure to register so you can get the link to that class. So again, thank you all for joining in. If you do need any additional help with food, meal prepping, diabetes education, please have your doctor send a referral to the Mary and Dick Allen Diabetes Center, and we'd be happy to help you. We do provide education. So again, thank you again for tuning in, and stay healthy.